Again, we talked about real life. I want you to talk about expectations in marriage because they one time bothered us. I think we have now outgrown them. Yes, talk about expectations.
Expectations in marriage. Everyone that enters marriage enters it with expectations.
Yeah.
And these expectations most times are defined by our mindset. Expectations are defined by our mindset of this is how a husband should be. This is how a wife should be. This is what a husband should do. This is what a wife should do. And most times when we enter marriage, on our part, when we entered marriage, you had expectations of me.
I had. Boy, I didn't know I would ever eat commando again. I knew I brought a woman to cook.
To cook, thank you. I had expectations also.
Oh, yeah.
Usually when women, I like yesterday I was telling you how I have tried to observe women, when we get married, we tend to be comfortable around our husband. So expectations. When I came into the marriage, there was a bonus I was expecting. One, a papa bonus that I was expecting. I expected this man of God, angel, who does not make a mistake, who reads my mind before what I want should be revealed to him by God somehow.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I want it today, but he should know it like yesterday.
Exactly.
Those were the expectations I had. So at first, there's this norm of this saying in the African tradition, which is, I think, totally wrong, of woman don't speak. It is so much. It is so much into the African setting, African tradition of if you enter marriage and you're a woman, put water in your mouth, like don't speak. Even if the man does, don't speak. And that cuts communication. It cuts revealing my heart to you and you revealing your heart to me. Because when you're revealing your heart to me, I don't take it as love. I take it as instruction, as I must do.
Yes.
The women in the African setting, we are trained and we are told to do what the man says. You have no opinion in this marriage, forgetting that this marriage is of two and God. Imagine, even God, even our relationship with God is a marriage relationship. Imagine we had no say.
I can imagine.
But God himself, in his sovereignty, he says, come, let's sit together. Let's reason together. Now, if a husband cannot reason with a wife, so I came with that mindset. You remember, I was quiet about everything.
Yeah, very quiet.
Very quiet.
Angel in the house. I was the angel in the house. The angel, you know?
I was very quiet.
The Holy Spirit.
I couldn't articulate my needs. I couldn't articulate nothing. Very quiet.
Until we sat down and I said, you know what?
Yes.
Talk.
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 So expectations are very dangerous. Why? In you think you are doing right, but at the back of your mind, you are trying to change this person to what the dream husband. Or sometimes most expectations are even drawn by the movies we watch.
What you've been taught.
What you've been told.
What you hear.
Forgetting that marriage is different. The principles are the same that govern the marriage, but every marriage is unique in its own way.
In its own way. So are expectations good in marriage?
No.
Maybe we should say yes, because godly expectations. Some expectations are godly.
No, expectations from your spouse is very dangerous. Only God can satisfy you.
True, no doubt. I'll agree with that.
Only God can satisfy you. Even in your marriage, find your satisfaction in God.
In God. That's key.
Expectation. When you're expecting things from your husband, from your spouse, you are hitting a dead end. Why? The day you are expecting, for example, you do a surprise thing at home, and you are tuned, and you're like, hey, my husband, I expect him to be happy.
Candles.
You do everything, and he will show you that you'll come back at 2 when you're already asleep.
And he's tired.
He wants to sleep. Number one, he wants water to shower. Then he wants you to serve him food.
Guys, that's not me. Am I the one there?
Yes. And imagine what you are going through. And then you have to...
The preparations.
You have to understand him even as he understands you. You get? So expectations are really, really... They bothered us. Those first 2 years...
Yeah.
Every day we're mad at each other. Every day you have something that is making you mad. And because for me, I wasn't a communicating partner, I would literally swell in that house.
And yet me, I was communicating.
And then your communication, whenever it came, because I was swollen and angry, and I thought was a Muchiga man of this Muchiga man is still on my case. And then I have no say, But expectations really, no, it's not a good thing. Don't expect anything from your husband. If he does it, well and good. Thank God. If he doesn't, go to God.
But at least let him give you unconditional love. Okay. Another question. Now we are parents.
Yes.
I'm a father of 2, you're a mother of 2 boys.
2 big boys.
Glory and Grace.
Yes.
Oh, Grace and Glory. Grace is the firstborn, Glory is the secondborn. Tell me, has this man been an available father? Is he an unavailable father? Has he been a father? Has he really been a father in that house? Guys, that's a hard one. Because I can imagine what's going to come to me. Is he really
Have you been a father? Have you been?
I have been a father. I've been a father. I mean, if it's moving with, because I've not been working up country. If it's up country, I go with my family. I've been okay, no, you define it, because my expectation of being a father is if I can provide, if my kids are eating, if they are drinking, if my wife is cooking and they are good, if I come back with a bunch of matoke, if I come with a sack of charcoal, if I buy you gas, if I buy you...
African man.
No, wait.
I'm not hearing flowers, I'm not hearing...
Wait, I'm coming. That's a husband part, not a father part. That's a husband part. But have I been a father?
Father.
Have I helped out?
The Banyankore say. I'm speaking like my president.
Let's say the
Banyankore say.
Gamba no.
No. Entasima evrajaha. Like, if you're not grateful, nothing will ever come to you. I must say you have been there, really. From the word go.
From the word go.
You have been a father when I'm pregnant. You have been a father when I am giving birth. You've been a father when I give birth. You've been a father to your son. And not just a father, a present father. A present father. At least even Glory, who is making Gaya soon, knows daddy. From afar, when you speak, he can know this is daddy, this is not daddy.
That's the present.
And that is a sign of a present father. You have been there.
I've been there.
And we are grateful.
Yeah. Thank God.
We are so grateful.
Okay. Now, another one. Having a background of a Muchiga man.
Yes.
Has this man been a Muchiga in the house?
He has only been a Muchiga on the part of eating potatoes.
Oh.
Yeah, but love, you have one coming into the marriage. Our relationship before marriage, you were a tough man.
Very tough man.
You still are. People outside know you as tough, but in the house, you are gentle, you are kind, you're patient with me, with the children. You're actually more patient with the children than I am, because me, children, it's another thing. It's another thing. So you really have been not a Muchiga, but a Mutoro.
Not a Mutoro, but the
You've
man
been
of God.
a man of God.
Yeah, the man
Yes.
of God. Talking about the man of God. Okay, we'll talk about the man of God later. The husband bit.
Yes, sir.
The husband bit has this. I've never really been a husband. I'm in my own life with my God, like I mentioned earlier on. It's important for people to know out there. For us men, let me give you this. For us men, we have our own understanding of being a husband at home. Yet you people have watched a lot of things on TV. Influence from Western cultures come in. So sometimes, yet for us, men are so rigid sometimes, we still stick to our African way of being husband. Come back with a chichinyama, come back with a bunch of matoke. When you park and the boat, you open it, you flood things in the house, the fridge gets full. The guy feels like,
I'm a husband.
What else? What have I done for you? What have I not given you? Everything.
My version of a husband, though, is very different from Western culture, from the African, because even with all those, God has designed you to be like He is to the church.
Cherish it, love it.
Why? Because He knows that is the need of the church.
That's true.
It is not the bunch of matoke.
That's true.
Because you can come with a bunch of matoke and I'm still in need.
That's true.
And many times men think we are ungrateful, but you're not giving me what I need. You're giving me what you think I need.
Which is wrong.
You get? So
I ought to know your need.
Go to God.
No, I know your need.
Go to the word,
I
you know.
Me personally.
One thing I know is that you have imputed righteousness, at least. I know that one. Sometimes I really, really mess up and I'm like, ooh, this one, I am dead. And this husband of mine comes and shows you his calm. And he tells you words and you're like, okay, I didn't expect that from you. I expected a blessed. I expected you to.
And honestly, it's not even like imputing righteousness. That's how I've lived life. It's me. It's so much in me that.
And that's what the word says. The word says, washing her with the word. Washing her with the word. So whenever you are speaking those things, you are calling out the me, you know. So you have really been a husband.
Been a husband. Talk about
you have been the Christ that I know for the church.
Somebody will ask, okay, that's the husband talking about. How about going to Jerusalem? Holy Communion. Is he really been a husband? Because now that's also the bit of husband. Because there's a fathering, but now the husband. You know, visiting Jerusalem. Talk about how the Holy Communion has always been.
Okay, I don't talk about it on camera.
Well, at least the right words have been used. So
yes.
The elders will know. The little ones will catch up.
you've been great. You've been great. Though at first
No,
I
don't
think
have been great. You have made me great because I think I was
at first
bad.
we had to learn together. But that's the beauty of sexual purity. When you experience one sexual partner, you get to learn things together. You don't have notes to compare, you know. So yes, we have learned these things together.
I think,
and so they can only be great.
Yeah. Actually, the last experiences can't be compared to the ones we had before, because
yes, we get better
and
enjoy each other better.
Yeah, at least that I can testify. Challenges in marriage, 4 years. What has been those things that you've seen and been a big challenge for you?
Challenges in marriage. Recently, I was learning. I remember that period when I just cut off from my girlfriend. Recently, I cut off from my girlfriend. I think it was a challenge that had been there and I did not know. But one time I was praying and I was asking God, please help me be the best wife that I can be to this man. And I was instructed to just be there for you. Be there for you. And I was asking, hey God, I've been there. Come on, I've been a housewife.
How God tells you to be there.
I have been a housewife for the 4 years. And being a housewife, really, I'm expected to be there. Nothing is taking my attention, no work, not maybe the children, but also I've been there. Come on, how do you tell me to be there? And I was learning that, I got to learn that third parties in marriage are not only dangerous, but it is, yesterday I was listening to Apostle and he confirmed it. It is a form of cheating. Cheating does not begin when you go out sexually. It begins when you have words you tell your girlfriend that you can't tell your husband or your wife. You have words that you tell your boyfriends, your friends that are male, those close, and those words you can't tell your wife.
That's cheating already. That was from
I learned that.
Himself.
I learned that. And that was the period I was going. When I told you that I was cutting off because of the
told me you cut actually.
The conversation.
Even my daughter, you cut. I said,
yes. The conversations I was having with them were not healthy for us. I didn't tell you the details because God was dealing with me.
I knew me when you mentioned, of course I knew because already.
God was dealing with me, and that was a challenge that was in our marriage that I didn't know that I was causing personally. So I think that has been key for me. Of it is important to pour out your heart to your spouse the way it is, because the Bible says they were naked and not ashamed. So if you are ashamed before your spouse when you're naked in not only physical, naked in the words you say, naked in your feelings, your emotions, you can easily articulate your emotions to your girlfriend than your husband.
Guys, you
it's a challenge.
Why I surely had to have you.
It's a challenge. So God has taught me that, and He has also been faithful to give me the grace to walk in it. It's a few months now, like 2, but I am steady. No more cheating.
No more cheating.
So the cheating bit, it has been a challenge. What else has been a challenge? Parenting, it's not a challenge, it's a grace I'm walking in, because naturally I'm not good with children. But God has been gracious that, yes, I am walking in the grace of parenting, and I'm learning every day. I download videos, I'm learning.
You're learning.
I am learning. I have books on my phone that I'm reading about parenting, so yes, I'm learning. But the challenge was that.
Okay. I guess we shall have more of these things. Now I notice there's even a lot to talk about.
Yes.
Like how your period of getting children, how it's been like, how supernaturally God has given us children. It's been supernatural. I can tell you, we have not spent over 200 Ugandan shillings in
more
giving
than
birth.
200.
More than 200 Ugandan shillings.
And people spend
on giving birth in a hospital. For both, actually, not even just one, for both. We haven't spent more than 200 Ugandan shillings. Miraculously. I'll just SMS Apostle. And I'm like, you know what? We are just right now in the hospital and we are about to bring forth nations. And all he would just say, would SMS back and say, supernatural child. God faithfully confirmed those words.
Yes.
Faithful. I remember for the last born,
that was another one.
It was funny because the experience was just, when she tells you her experience in the what is that place called where you give birth from? The delivery room. Whatever it is. Labor ward. If she tells you what the experience was like, of the midwife saying, do this, do this, do this, and before she knew it, the baby was out. It was different from when you were telling her, now, exhale, push. This time, I remember it was as easy as do this. She came out telling me, look, the nurse told me to do this, and do this, and do this, and the baby was out. I said, God. So, there are many stories we can tell you. For example, that's how God has also divinely provided. Yes. I would save money for delivery, yeah. But before I knew it,
you don't use it.
I would not use any coin.
Yeah.
So God has been that good also.
But also, God initially introduced us a knowledge that helped us even in the labor ward.
That's very true.
The Bible says, as a man thinks, so he is.
Preach, my wife.
As a man thinks, the mindset you enter with in that labor ward,
very key,
is what gets you out.
You remember the nurses telling us, you'll go through the pain, please collaborate. And would be like, would of course agree with it. Not agree, would just,
for the firstborn,
okay.
They waited for the pain and it was
and
nowhere.
The pain was not there and they had to force the pain. Can you imagine? They had actually to force the pain.
They're like, you're not ready, you're not feeling no pain, you're not ready.
It's that funny. But also,
and I was laughing at them until the water broke and I'm like, water has broken.
I think also like you've mentioned, I think our marriage has also been built so much on the word.
Yes.
We are so much word driven, and not even just word driven, we do practice it actually. We are practicing.
And whenever something comes, we run back to the word.
We again run back to the word and reconcile. Being a word person, and she's a word person, the word of God has been something beautiful for us. We are practicing. We are not actually talking about it. We are practicing it. We are doing it. If there's one thing I mentioned in prayer, whenever we were praying, it's God the strength to keep and to do your word.
Yes.
That one never misses on my lips because that ability has been of God.
And for sure, the word never fails.
It has not failed us. It has not. And we don't even think it will ever fail. It's not in us to think it will ever fail. We're asking God for more strength to keep and to keep doing.
Yeah.
So anyway, like I said, I think we have a lot to discuss. We'll have another version of this.
Challenges. When you talked about challenges, many times people say it is a challenge because our marriage time, the 4 years, someone would have a list of challenges. But personally, my attitude towards life is that all things work together for good.
Same thing with me.
So whenever something comes, I don't see it as a challenge. I see it as a stepping stone of God, you brought this, let's go. Even this has come to put a stone on the building. So it is not a challenge, it's a stepping stone. The only challenge, like I've told you, was that cheating bit that I have faced personally. And the Lord has been gracious to even open my eyes to it and teach me through it.
And teach you through it. I also have challenges.
Yeah.
So I thought you'd ask, so do you have challenges? I'll be honest with you. One of my biggest challenge really, it's been that time.
Really? Like seriously?
I'm a timekeeper, and you are the best timekeeper I can ever have.
Oh God.
Yeah, time. That time. But it's not even been a challenge.
How can that be a challenge?
I came to understand. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Because they don't have challenges.
No.
They're not even there.
Then don't create them. Don't create them.
They're not even there because I don't have. For me, everything that has been coming, like you said, mindset, I go back to God. And I'm like, did you just see that? So how do you go about this? And before you know it, that's how now righteousness comes in. Because me, I always discuss it with
even
God.
now, in this righteousness.
That's what I said. Yeah, I said it. You're the best timekeeper I can never work with. You're just the best. So
don't think my challenge is time. Don't.
So there was that beauty. So I don't think I have. I don't have.
You don't. Then don't create them. We go to the next one. We go to the next question.
I don't
next
have
question.
So, no, I think I have many questions.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe the other question was about again children and the number of children that we wanted, because that was key. From the start, you always asked me, let's discuss how many children do you want?
And you always dodged my question.
I didn't dodge it. I told you I wanted 18 children.
18
I've never dodged
Who
it.
gives birth to 18 children?
No. So now what I'm trying to say is, look, how do we now come? No,
you want to give birth to the 12 tribes, another 18 tribes.
Have you ever asked God how many planets He has where you can put all your children? Or have you ever asked Him why He said, give,
so you asked
fill the earth?
You asked Him. And He told you 18.
Like I said, purpose again. So 18.
18 children, no?
No, I don't know why 18 always came on my lips.
Jesus is Lord.
But God, 18, you never know. God has children for you. So maybe He has that place. He has for us more extra 16 kids that He will give us.
We already have 3.
Yeah, even more than that. Yeah. But God can create. So I don't know why that 18 figure always came out.
No, me when I asked you that question now, I meant
you were definitely
from your loins, from my womb, how many?
But I remember my answer was always children are a reward from God. So I never wanted to limit God in any way. But either way, it was important as a couple to also agree on the children we were going to have. When you emphasize that, I understood
nothing that they imagine to do.
They will fail.
Yes. So if we imagine two.
Yeah. So no, we didn't actually imagine. She dictated the 2. I'll be honest.
No, I didn't dictate
She
nothing.
dictated the 2, but like again I said, this is a relationship where we're working 2.
Yes.
And we have to agree.
We are working 2.
So how do I come to the agreement of the 2 is the issue now.
Yes.
Again, I go back to God and we talk. And I'm like, God, if there be 2, my seed must continue. I said, let them be 2 boys. So I was actually definite with that. When I told her you're going to give birth to boys, she didn't understand. But this was an issue I'd resolved with God. That all that you're going to give and incubate and, carry, it was going to, the fruit of your womb was going to be male.
Male.
Yeah. That was so definite with God that I had no questions. You remember on the second born, you insisted and said
it's going to be a girl.
I mean, a girl, beautiful. I would love to father girls, and I'm fathering already.
You know why I wanted a girl?
So
you know why I wanted a girl?
Why did you really want her?
Funny.
Makeup.
Do her hair. then put on those
It's
dolly
not funny.
dresses.
It's a feminine thing.
Should baby girls
Yeah.
have cute dresses, cute
I'm
little
telling you, it's not
little
funny. It's
dresses.
a feminine thing. Just know.
Then, oh my God.
I can
Whenever
imagine.
I meet them, I'm like, oh, I want a girl.
Yeah, but I was still direct with it and I told you it's a boy.
Yes.
I even one time had a vision and a dream which tried to show me it was a girl. And I woke up, I told the vision, I said, look,
Boy.
I know whatever you're doing, but I know it's a boy. She insisted to do scans. I told her, don't worry about scans. That's the beauty with hearing God.
Yes.
And working with God. You can tell.
No.
So that's how we come up with 2 kids, and we are glad about the 2 boys. And I know she's going to make them what she wants them to be, or what she knows God has destined them to be. That I'm so sure you will. Even me, I'm so sure we'll do that, because
Amen.
the strength is available, the grace is available. God adds grace. So I know that grace is available. Our hopes are high for the 5th year and the rest of the years.
Yes.
And big things are popping. All things are working out for our good. Things are turning around for us. They're working out for good for